Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. I'm going to be giving you all the trade setups, all the juicy targets, and what you could only hope is your dream, and that is the place to buy the low and sell the high over the next few months. Make sure if you want to find that information, you subscribe to the channel. Get yourself deep and dirty into some trading and technical analysis, and that way you don't end up missing the boat to peace and prosperity. Don't miss the boat and get stuck in death and despair. Guys, in all kiddingness here, I want to get a little more serious now that, well, our plan from yesterday actually did really start to work out. And, you know, hats off to chart champions over there for, what's his name? Daniel, really kind of giving me this idea on the shorter term time frame that, look, we were going to come into this little golden pocket area, and, well, based on the what did he say? He said, you know, based on the reaction from this zone, I'll be looking to take a long. He said, anyway, something along those lines. And I said, you know what? That does look fairly accurate. Just enough to fool you, right? Because we came right below the golden pocket, right below the 786. But here was the claim to fame, right? Is the famous W formation alongside bullish divergence. What is bullish divergence? Well, today you can actually go to bitcoinadvisors.com and get your free copy of the cheat sheet to bullish and bearish divergence. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is absolutely not meant to be taken serious, and you should only invest more than you can afford to lose. But what you can do here at bitcoinadvisors.com is go to the resource center and then scroll on down. If you want to learn how to set up TradingView, you can do that there. You can look at the market psychology cheat sheet. You can, more importantly, look at the bullish and bearish divergence cheat sheet, which, I mean, this thing is amazing. It tells you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to bullish and bearish divergence, which is the most important thing in my trading career opinion when it comes to getting targets, especially on the higher term time frames. Where is that next move going to come from? Where is price likely to go? That's what you want to be looking at, is bullish and bearish divergence on the RSI. Now, more specifically here, what am I talking about here? I am talking about when the price is making higher highs, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 higher highs, and the RSI is making lower highs. Now, this is a different RSI, but it does actually work in this scenario. So, what am I going to point out here? 1 high, 2 high, 3 high, and perhaps this is even a 4th high right there. I'll have to line it up with the price on the other side. So what are we going to do? When in doubt, pull it out, sir. You are going to go ahead and look at 1, 2, 3, 3 clear stop and reverse points. And, you know, some would even call that a high. So where does that give us a target based on our cheat sheet? So the price is making higher highs, yet the RSI is making lower highs. So hidden bullish divergence can only be found in the context of a uptrend, and hidden bearish divergence can only be found in the context of a downtrend. What are we currently in right now? We're in a bit of an uptrend, so we should be looking for regular bearish divergence, which is this guy right here, number 2. Price is making higher high, and the RSI is making a lower high. Guys, it is not that hard, and I promise you, if you take our trading course, cryptcourses.com, which is listed below, you will really get to understand what this is. So, again, price is making higher highs. The RSI is making lower highs, and I'm going to call this the 3 drive variety. 3 drives, 1, 2. I'm not going to really count that as a high. I will count this as a high. And I know from heart, 3 drives gets you a shot to the bottom side of the range or the green 55, and 4 drives is going to take you to that 1618 fib, which, wow, would be all the way downtown. Down right here. But where's the bottom side of the range is right here, and the green 55, wouldn't you know, it's probably going to be lining up with the green 55, or sorry, the 50% retracement, which is the 0.5 Fibonacci zone. And what kind of a move are we talking about? 2%. If you go 100x leverage, well, hey, 2% is quite a move. But I want to see where that green 55 is coming in. What do you know? Green 55 is much, much higher than the 0.5. So failure there, Christopher, failure. But if you actually, never mind, because I was looking at, the Fibonacci zone from this low to high. But if you line it up actually, in fact, with this low to high, what do you know? Coming in right to the 0.5 there for a very suspicious, is that even a word, suspicious? I would say it is rather not a coincidence that it does line up. The colors match. Everything matches. It's perfect in harmony. Anyways, moving on here. So we got 1, 2, 3 drives. I'm expecting at least a move down there. And yesterday, what did we say? We said, look, and again, nobody's got a crystal ball here, and I am merely just a parrot regurgitating other people's information, giving you my opinion on what the price is going to do based on my TA and what else, other things that I'm hearing out there, needless to say. But from the word from the mouth of the, what do we call him? The czar, the crypto god, what's his name? Anyways, I'm really digressing here at the moment. They call him the Cabal. Yes, from the Cabal himself, Mr. Cabal. He said yesterday that very likely we're going to bounce out of the golden pocket and head back to the top side of this range and take out the liquidity from that wick right there. And that's actually what I said. That I am the Cabal. In fact, I run the Cabal, and the Cabal bows down to me. Oh, man. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. I had one too many Celsiuses today. All right. So an afterthought and a thought that I was having this morning as I was watching this rather bullish price action fire off was this, that if we closed above the channel, very likely we're going to come back and retest the channel as support and, well, hopefully use it as support. And that, wow, did we just have a daily closure? Yes, we did. 5 p.m. What do you know? Use it as support and continue onwards and upwards to the heavens, to Bitcoin heaven, which you're probably wondering, what is this flagpole? What was he talking about? Giving us the exact zones on where the price is going to go and where to buy and where to sell. Well, again, not financial advice. I'm just giving you an idea of what I suspect could happen. But this is your bull flag. The flag is a bull, and it's pointed like this. The measure move off of the flag comes from the bottom of the channel, and that would give you your $147,000 target. And yes, Bitcoin, once it takes out the 112,000 pivot, 112,000, excuse me, this last high over here coming in at 112,374, if you want to be a little more exact. Wow, what did the day do? The day had quite, I'm actually going to run and get myself a little more Celsius because I am thirsty as ever. I need the caffeine to keep on going. It's 5 p.m. I've been here since very early this morning. I want to keep this party going and hopefully get this video out to you before. I'm just going to let this guy know. I promise, if you post this video, you will get paid, sir. You will get paid. Anyways, needless to say, we're back in the channel, finishing off my thought here. I said to myself, I was thinking it to myself is, look, everybody's getting so bullish here. It's time for the market maker to dump it back down. We've had quite a bit of up days, quite a few bit of up days. We got a bullish engulfing candle. That does imply continuation. And the stock market looking rather bullish today. But after Jerome Powell said yesterday, he pretty much said, I'm not going to raise interest rates or lower interest rates. the market is now having to digest that bit of information, and the market is saying, where should we go from now? But no, we'll just take it level to level. You know, the NASDAQ, I'm bullish. I'm looking for this thing to continue onwards and upwards to the path, which is most likely up and to the right. You can deviate below the bottom side of this channel, and you're going to get sucked back in. You can get back above it. You're going to get sucked back in. Where's the immediate target? I would say 24,000. Just immediate. Immediate green girthy candle to 24,000. No, I'm just kidding. I think it, happens over time. It's probably not going to happen all in one day. When's the last time you saw the NASDAQ move 7% in a day? How much money would that be? Trillions of... The NASDAQ, I think, is about, I don't know, out of 90 trillion, right? It probably makes up a great bulk of... Let's ask Mrs. ChatGPT. I named her my executive assistant. Her name is Rachel. I'm going to ask Rachel, what is the market cap of the NASDAQ? NASDQ. What is the market cap of the NASDAQ? So why am I... I'm going to guess. I'm going to give you a guess. The NASDAQ market cap. So 90 trillion is the U.S. stock market, give or take a few trillion. The NASDAQ's the top 100 companies indexed, smashed into a hamburger. And top 100 companies often includes the big seven. So they're the biggest, and they are a couple trillion apiece. So I'm going to shoot for, I don't know, 10, 20 trillion, something like that, at least. Wow. Let's bring this up. 51. The consequences figured a little. Why is that? So NDAQ, a corporate entity who shares trade publicly in NASDAQ, the stock market, an exchange of indexes listing thousands of companies whose combined market value into tens of trillions of dollars. And, the total U.S. public company market cap was roughly 52 trillion at the end of the 20 NASDAQ exchange collectively listed companies with a combined market cap of 20 trillion. Okay. The ticker, the market cap on the ticker is only 51 billion. NASDK. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's $20 trillion. So for NASDAQ to go up 6%, call it 10% of $20 trillion, you'd have to move up $1 trillion in value in one day. I guess, now we're throwing away our own trillions like they're billions, so it shouldn't be that hard. All I'm saying is, it probably takes a week or two up there. And, lots of bullish, like, news and media and Trump solving wars and Powell lowering interest rates, all positive things need to happen. Okay, going back here. Digressing a little bit more, back to Bitcoin and our final thoughts for the day. After a bullish engulfing candle, did momentum cross back to the upside on the daily time frame in the critical zone? Yes, in fact, it did. So I'm just going to go back to my thought from yesterday, and when in doubt, pull it out. And here was my thought, actually, is if we fell back into the channel, likely to come back to the bottom side of the channel. And you might notice this, as I've been noticing, but price action seems to move, a lot faster to the downside than it does to the upside, even though today was fairly, straight up, right? A lot of altcoins took a big swing up today. Banter Bubbles. Check them out. Crypto Banter. They've got a lot of interesting content surrounding crypto. A very useful tool here. Yeah, look on the daily chart. Bonk winning the day. TIA, Injective, Aave, 18% on Bonk. So I'm guessing Solana ETF was just approved. Solana. And here was the, XRP Solana ETF had 95% of SE. That's old news. Chance 95%. 95% chance. I heard it was approved. Maybe I was hearing wrong. There it is. The first Solana ETF has been approved, launched Wednesday, giving investors exposure to Solana. And I don't quite understand the staking part of it, right? Like you buy the ETF, then they take the Solana and they stake it, probably giving the ETF a higher rate of return. So whatever that does, more Solana is going to be bought and bullish for crypto in general. So the other thing I want to pull out here, and again, why did I think one more push higher? It was just kind of a gut feeling, and we had this golden pocket. So fall back into the channel here, and we lose this area, which on the day, I mean, how many times have you guys seen this giant big green candle and then bloop, right back down? Not very often. You can see volume. Volume is very low. Volume is very low. The biggest volume came in, and this was this dump party was, yeah. So, what are the first warning signs that we are going to be coming back down into that zone? At a minimum, I'll look for a retracement into the golden pocket. So, taking it level by level, this is the zone that I'd be looking for. Let's say you missed the move today. Well, you look for price action to come down into this area, 106, call it 107,000 to 106,300. And that's where you're looking to grab those longs. Now, do I think it'll stop there? No, I actually don't. I don't think so. I think, the more likely bet is, and we do have the bearish divergence in. So that does give a nothing's a guarantee here in this life except for Jesus being Lord, and every knee shall bow down to the Lord. That's it. That's the only guarantee you can make yourself, sir, is one day you will bow. Every knee shall bow. And we're going to make it into this box of peace and prosperity and death and despair. And, well, seemingly enough, I'm just looking for more kind of like support for my theory that price could potentially come down to that area. So momentum is down, bearish divergence in, volatility declining. Let's see what the 4 hour says. 4 hour is going to be giving us, there's just too much on this chart here now. We got 1, 2, 3. Price is making a higher high. A pretty bearish closure. Some blue candles. What do these blue candles mean? You're probably wondering. Those are higher volume candles than regular gray candles, but lower volume than a bright green. Bright green means this candle had more volume than the previous 10 candles. Blue means something else, but I don't have the exact definition. All I know is blue is between red and a green. Between red and a green, and just by ticking below this last, we'll probably get a bounce first. After like these big explosions to the upside, it typically doesn't V bottom down. It's like a slow fade. Just like we went boom, slow fade. Okay, we got the next move up. Now it's just been, 2 days of sideways price action. And I would say, this 4 hour candle that just closed, which you can't see, you can see this 4 hour candle. We're getting increasing green volume coming all the way in here, right? After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on the 7th candle, we got a red one. You want to see this act as support. Otherwise, very quickly, those moves to the downside happen. And where is overall just a good target to the downside is this last candle right here. This is known as a long-legged upper shadow candle, bullish continuation candle. And that is also going to be in Crypt courses. By the way, right now you can sign up for free for 30 days. Just click on the link, click enter, and join your journey in the cryptocurrency land. All right. So, short term, I do think the potential for some downside is in, especially on this next green dot. And notice this, if you are using Market Cipher, that look, green dot, bullish divergence. That really got the move. You know, my point is it's usually the dot after the divergence that gets it. So in the context of, yeah, you can see even here, you know, this downside move right here, which if we look at this a little better, let's say you just went short off that red dot, bearish divergence, price moved down to here. That was it. Then you got the green dot. Okay, get out. You got the red dot jammed in your face. Red dot jammed in your face. A red dot, a little bit of a correction there on the 4-hour time frame. Finally got a little bit of downside. If we do confirm another red dot on this 4-hour candle with a shark fin present, momentum to the downside, there's another indicator I like to use called the HPDR, which is very confusing and hard to use and doesn't always work, but does sometimes give you a bit of a context or a little bit of a target. The way I use this one, volatility is increasing. I'm sorry, this is the HPDRO, so directional volatility is up. We did crows. We closed above. We closed above the 618, giving us a target of the 886, which is going to be 110,618. So, you know, chance to come back and revisit this high is very much available. Let's see if that target lines up with anything. Are we losing the steam now? Well, the first warning sign you'd want to see is volatility begin to contract, which if I use my other chart, I'm going to come back to that one in a second. And notice this first pass at the RSI in the bullish control zone after being away from it for some time, typically a sell. Momentum will cross down on the 4-hour below 107,142. Where are we at right now? 108,850. 107,842 is going to be way down here. So nothing to write home about there. And again, here's our golden pocket, our box of peace and prosperity and death and despair. As long as we're above the box, everything is good and good to go. And below the box, it's back down. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, people are going to put their stop losses, and you know, this thing will aggressively mark down to our green box. After perhaps giving one more stab to the upside, let's see if, and I'm going to end the video here, guys, so make sure you do. Don't forget to smash the like button, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you you tickle the bell for all the notifications. Exchanges, no. I want to look at the heat map. Let's look at to the downside to the tune of $139 million. To the upside, 122. So people are throwing some shorts in. That level's coming in at 110,576. That level's coming in at 111. And the all-time high on Bitcoin. We should just mark it off, because once we get above this high, you know, it's blue sky breakout time. The blue sky breakout is here, and it is present, and it is going to be fulfilling. Yeah, so we hit the 1618 extension almost to a T, depending upon where you line up your fibs. But the secondary 1618 coming in at 114. Let's see if we have any economic data coming out. It's going to be 4th of July weekend, so everybody's going to be out and about looking for their crypto, shopping for crypto over the weekend. You know, stock market looks bullish. Ooh, oil looking like, well, it definitely lost its, you know, upside trend. Oil down, good for economy. Gold is old. Gold is old. That's what I gold. And, you know, potentially making another wedge here, making another, you know, rising wedge. Okay, that's bearish. Those tend to break to the downside. I think gold's coming down, 3,100. Gold's getting old. Who wants gold? And you got, you know, a pair of, well, bearish divergence. Prices making higher highs, the RSI is making lower highs. Massive, massive, massive bearish divergence. I mean, we're coming all back from this high. You see how these highs are much higher than this high, right? But the RSI showing the strength of the move is much lower. So gold down. Does Bitcoin tend to track with gold? Yes. Okay, what else is bullish for the news that I heard today? Well, the big, beautiful bill got signed. The big, beautiful bill. Big, beautiful bill. Summary. One big, beautiful bill. All the spending in the world, and they're going to spend it. Wow, look, if you want to go read the fine print, what are they going to spend all that money? Poor Elon was pissed off about it. Poor Elon and his Teslas are going to get cut. Trump's going to cut that guy out. And I don't really care. I really don't care. Just make this, you know, and actually I think, you know, honestly, I think good old Trumperooski, no, Elon, debtclock.gov. If you ever want to see the government's debt, well, how silly is this? Do you think this is real? usdebtclock.org. US debt clock. Do you think this is actually real? Like they're going to post this online so you and me and every other twiddledum can go and see, oh yeah, the US debt is 37 trillion. No, that's some kind of a phony number. This is total BS. And if you ask me, the reason Elon got kicked out is because Elon was like, no, stop spending money, Trump. And Trump was like, no, we're going to make America great again. We got to spend money. That's the reality. You got to spend money. The debt problem ain't going away, and that's why we have Bitcoin. That's why we have Bitcoin. You think somebody's going to come in one term and delete $31 trillion of debt? No, it's not going to happen, guys. And Elon was telling Trump, sorry, dude, don't spend any more money. And Trump has other ideas. And, you know, does that make him bad? No, it just means better for Bitcoin. And Elon failed at his mission. He doesn't want to fail at reducing the debt with his little team of, you know, minions that are supposed to be taking the debt down, right? He doesn't want to fail. The Doge clock, 341 billion. Number going up or down? It's going up. That's what they're saving per day. Anyways, to the downside, liquidity right there. Do we get a bounce off that pivot? Probably on the first pass. So again, what do I want to bring into play here? The other thing that told us we were going to bounce yesterday was the VWAP. And gosh, my analysis here is all over the place. I really hope that the editor can take out some of the mumbo jumbo, some of the gumbo soup. Let him take it out. And yeah, so we get a little push down here to 108, completely fine. Down to here, completely fine. Even here, here's what I want to see. This is the route of the most pain. Get everybody bullish. Everybody's stop losses are now down here at here, right? If you bought here, 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 the most logical place to put a stop loss is here, right? If you shorted the market here, stop losses go up here, right? There's your two previous all-time highs, not previous all-time highs, but two major areas of interest to the upside. And the last thing I want to do is put in our VWAP, the downtrend anchored VWAP, which we've now used as support. And the uptrend anchored VWAP, which, God forbid, tell you, you know, can somebody tell you where you're supposed to like put these things? Like, how do you know if the VWAP goes there or there? Okay, don't ask me. Don't ask me. But I think if you're looking at and you want that VWAP thingamabobber to be in your analysis, using it as support or resistance from the upside or the downside, then, well, I use it as support there. Now, if we bring it back a little bit further, we say, okay, VWAP here. Well, using it as support from there, interesting. Now, if we change the time frame, because we did have the monthly close and the 6-month close, If you look at the stock market on a 6-month time frame, guys, and all you did was buy gold, you're dang crazy. You are crazier than ever. The stock market is the market that never goes down, guys. It never goes down, so you might want to own some. Low here. Interesting. That's 37,000 and just a little bit of crazy insight because every single market in Bitcoin's history has hit the 4236 fib, coming in at 42,000, which is that pivot right there. That is your parabolic blow off top target, also kind of lining up with the 2618 fib. At a minimum, I do expect price to get up there during this bull run before our macro top signal fires off. So make sure you like and subscribe if you want to hear more about that. We're going to go up to here, you know, whether it's this year or next year. I think it's before the end of the year, personally. Could be completely wrong, but we've been pretty right about things since down here. So giving further context of what I was talking about here is when the macro top signal gets put in, 80% retracement, boom, brings you down to the VWAP. Now, I want to see what the VWAP does on this guy. Can we put a VWAP on this? I don't know if we can. I don't know if it's allowed. Oh, it does. So in Bitcoin's history, we've only hit the macro VWAP from, you know, one time. Well, that would put it back at 9,000. That's probably not going to happen. Anyways, I think that's enough out of me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure. Again, here's the range. You know, below here, probably going to come down to here, 106.6. Above here, you know, probably going to head up to that 113. Oh, and the last thing we want to keep our eyes on is the 2-day volatility momentum pitch, which is this lovely little character right here, which is currently on the floor. And if you zoom in, we have not even regained the exponential yet. So the 2-day is not going to close for another how many days? So by tomorrow, we'll get another closure. CMEs, are they going to give us anything away here? No, CMEs is on the floor, about to close a bullish engulfing in the next 20 hours. So perhaps she will be the harbinger of death and despair or peace and prosperity. 104.550. 104.550 will bring momentum crossing back to the upside. So if we are above, call it 105 in the next candle, especially over here, CMEs, this is very, if we can close above that pivot, this would just look like one massive higher low. No? Whoa. That's some interesting price action right there. I'm pulling out all the tricks of the trade today. Another one that I really like is the 3-day Bollinger Band with percentile. Where's my BBs? BB. Bollinger Bands. Oh my goodness. So why am I bringing this up? Well, when the 3-day closes upon the top side of the Bollinger Band, the Trollinger Band, I believe that is. No, that's the middle one. The Bollinger Band, when we close upon the top side here, you can get a very nice trending market here, right? And here, once again, you just let that thing ride to the moon. Okay, let's look at one last thing here, because I don't know if I'm going to get a video in tomorrow. Tomorrow's pretty packed, but, you know, we got 4th of July coming up. And, yeah, back test down to about 108.90, looking fresh, looking like a great possibility. I'm counting on it, sir. Back down to 108.90, likely, I would say. And daily's looking bullish. Okay. You know, we could be in for a momentous move here. You know, Trump passing this big, beautiful bill, which I was going to talk a little bit more about it, but how much spending is in the big, beautiful bill? How much spending in the big, beautiful bill? The bill is projected to increase the federal deficit by roughly $3.3 trillion over the next 10 years. One expert analysis suggested the total debt could increase by $4 to $5 trillion, especially when factoring interest.
about 1 trillion higher than the House version. 150 billion increase in military spending, at least 170 billion for border and immigration enforcement, and over 1.2 trillion in federal spending cuts, mostly via Medicaid reductions and eligibility changes. Cut that Medicaid, get rid of those people that want benefits. If you paid into it your whole life, well, you're screwed. Buy Bitcoin instead. All right. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.